Bubba, you're America.
These are the days of America, walking together through the promised land.
Well, Bubba, we talked about football kicking off this week, and one of the great traditions, and I know my sons are excited about it. On game day, it was just such a tradition. Here comes the football team wearing their jerseys, and the cheerleaders wearing their cheerleading outfits, getting ready for the pep rally and getting excited, and it's just the pageantry of all the school colors all over the halls and decking out lockers and all that. Well, not so fast. In Florida, and I have noticed this sometimes in certain schools, and again, for the life of me, I don't fully understand the thought process. Several Florida high schools are now restricting and even banning their own cheerleading uniforms.
Rick, they're saying the skimpy skirts violate dress code for the school day. High schools in Pinellas County are not allowing cheerleaders to wear their uniforms during the school day because the outfit's short skirt and sleeveless top doesn't fit the dress code. For generations, cheerleaders have donned their gear during the school day for pep rallies before Friday night football games. Now they're saying if it's an approved school uniform, which it was approved by the administration years ago, why is it out of the dress code? Now, one of the mothers brings up, I think, a good point we need to ask, whose daughter is a junior on Countyside's varsity squad. She told TampaBayTimes.com, and why can they wear it in front of thousands of people at a football field if they can't wear it on game day at school?
Good point.
I mean, I think it's a good point to say if we now have our young ladies in cheerleading outfits that are so trampy that we won't let them be in the school halls with them, but it's okay to bounce them out there in front of thousands of people in these same cheerleading uniforms. Now, I admit some of the cheerleading uniforms at some schools have gotten to the point that you go, you know, hey, I know I want my daughter to be an athlete and she loves cheering, but I'm telling you, I just can't sit here and watch her bounce around in that. That's just totally inappropriate. You know, and so I think they make a good point, but they said the reason why they did this was, and it goes back to this woman's question, by the way, has to be answered.
Yes, and I think it's a good question from two different angles.
Because then they said on the other end of the spectrum, you're right, and here's the other end. Well, some people are saying my daughter cannot wear that skirt to school, but a cheerleader can. So that's how this happened.
And these cheerleading uniforms were approved by the administration.
Right.
So what
is
are
everybody
we
gonna wanna
doing
wear a
here?
football jersey
Are we
when the football players wear their
being too restrictive on the students, or are we letting our cheerleader outfits get too far the other direction?
Well, and look, let's tell you one thing. Let's face it. I think Caitlin did this for a while. The thing that I noticed too, and it's just part of the uniform of the sport, volleyball. What girls get out there and wearing the volleyball? Good night. I mean,
you definitely couldn't wear that to school.
You couldn't wear that in the hall. I mean, there's just no way. But I mean, do you?
They have pretty tight shorts, don't they?
Well, some of them wear what I would call bloomers.
Short, tight short.
Yeah, I mean, they come around the top of the leg, and it's what you see cheerleaders wear under their skirt. They just wear that. And, I mean, they're really, really now at some schools they may not go as far as other schools go or the college level, but it's wow. But anyway, a cheerleading outfit, I think there's one way. First of all, now you don't want – I'm not – and I don't even know if they're talking about that based on this description. Now, there are some schools especially the competition stuff, when you got girls out there in their midriff showing and, I mean – No offense. I mean, sometimes
what you're saying when the strippers come to the game and they're offended, it may be too much.
I mean,
or not enough.
I've been to, and this is mainly
choose your words
to a degree,
wisely.
To a degree at the high school level, but to a much bigger degree at the college level. I mean, you know, I've been to 4 years worth of college football games, and I saw cheerleading squads from schools that you honestly thought, did they have a stripper squad? I mean, is this a different group? What is this? And
well, some of these dance teams at basketball games. Good night.
Yeah. So
take a peek at that.
So I think you do. I do. I think you do.
I'll go check them out. Here.
There may be one thing that you could say, and that is, I'm not talking about an extreme cheerleading outfit. I'm talking about the normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Because really, a normal cheerleader outfit, I think, has always, if your school has a code,
it wouldn't fit
would violate the skirt that a girl could wear that was not in uniform.
Well,
any of them.
Well, you probably. I think that brings up I think the overriding question here: should there be some consistency in that?
Yeah, I mean, should we? Either your cheerleading squad wears a skirt to the same place that the rest of the girls have to wear it at school, or you could declare a cheerleader uniform does not apply to the normal dress code because it's only on game day.
I think we all admit we've got a situation here. We don't have any consistency, and why is that? I would say there'd probably be less harm done if the cheerleading outfit was not covering enough at school than it would be out at the ball game where they have access to all kind of people coming up.
Right.
You know, this one high school is really just taking it way too far.
Okay. Okay.
That's Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
That's not a high school there. Still inappropriate, but not a high school. Yeah, I mean, but one reason why I put it under Your America, if I remember correctly, in our high school, if you took a normal, I mean, it was not anything outlandish or trampy, a normal cheerleading outfit, no girl would be allowed to wear the cheerleading skirt. Now, they have bloomers, though, where other girls would have underwear under it.
Right.
It is a second covering that's under a cheerleading skirt, where a girl, if she just wore that skirt on her own, would not have a second covering. To me, that's a place you can make a case. Well, they're actually wearing two garments here, but the length of it would not have met code.
No, I don't think so. Not even when we were. So
I think it's always kind of not met code, isn't it? I mean,
you know,
Rick, what you got here?
If you look back,
I'm not talking about back in the 50s. I'm talking about.
That's what I was going to say. Look back at the 50s and a lot of the 60s at the length of the cheerleading.
Oh yeah,
they were at least knee length.
I have a picture of my grandmother as a cheerleader at her high school, and I mean the dress, was all the way down to her shin.
And I think a lot of it is all they do stunts and stuff now. They didn't do then either, as far as turning, flipping, flopping, and all that.
Yeah,
they stood there with that big megaphone. People threw peanuts at them and stuff. But
yeah, right.
Of course, the men's basketball shorts were pretty offensive back in that.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. They were.
But
we've kind of flipped it.
But in all fairness, though, when it was game day, the basketball team would wear the warm up. They wouldn't wear the actual shorts.
Right.
So maybe that's the answer. Because sometimes it'd be real hot. Maybe the cheerleaders, and I have seen schools do this on pep rally day. They just wear the cheerleader, what we call a sweatsuit. Or the
and I've seen that. I know some of the high schools around here where we live, cheerleaders don't just wear them all day on game day. Some of them just change for the pep rallies. They wear different things, but they coordinate them. But
I guarantee you.
But again, it's a uniform, and like I said,
it's not that way in the 80s.
Where's it going to stop? I mean, if I'm not on the football team, am I going to be upset
had
that I don't
maximum
have a football jersey to wear?
Well, here's what happened.
It always kept my mind on the game.
Yeah.
Go team, go!
I want to see posters. I want to see uniforms.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. If you play in the band, carry your instrument with you. Yeah. I want to be thinking.
Carry your 20, Jay.
Because the
20Js.
The teachers knew when 075 sat down at the desk, he was taking the day off academically on game day.
I guarantee you, somebody got sent home for a regular skirt. Somebody got sent home in regular skirt, and they said, "Well, heck, the cheerleaders get to wear."
No, that's exactly what happened. They even say that's what happened.
Oh, okay, I figured.
And it's
we didn't read that part, but it said a parent
question.
said, "Hey,
yeah, you gonna send mine home?"
It's fair.
It is fair.
It is fair question, and something must be done about it. See, maybe we can go back to that.
See, I don't think it's fair. I don't, because hey, show up, make the cheerleading squad, and you'll get to wear one. I mean, how about that? That's their uniform. I mean, quit complaining because you are wearing something. Oh, well, they can't. Well, it's not like she just showed up in a skirt. Right. She went through the process. She made that team. She's paid for her dues. Let her wear her uniform. Shut up.
Or even paid her dues.
Whatever. What'd I say?
Paid for her dues.
You know what I meant.
Right.
Well, she paid for the uniform too, probably.
Oh, yes, they do.
Every year.
Speedy, go back to the phone.
How about this? You pay a lot for those uniforms.
Hey, I wanted my daughter to wear hers every chance she had, much as it cost.
That's right.
Every year from the cheer.
But I think it's kind of.
I made her wear it on the weekend.
I think what you're saying is similar to what I'm saying. It really isn't the same because of the second garment that goes with the cheerleading. That's a cheerleading uniform, and I'm not saying these. You cannot have a cheerleader walking around a high school with her midriff showing.
I don't think that's what they're talking about.
No,
They're just talking about the regular.
I'm just talking about the regular skirt.
Yeah, I think
go team, go.
To me, those kind of uniforms shouldn't be approved, whether they're on the
Yeah, most
sideline
high schools don't
or
do
in the high. They normally.
But see,
don't.
this goes back.
Seen some
it's-
getting close.
This goes back though in society where everybody wants to equal this and go. How about you didn't? You're not a cheerleader, so you're not wearing a cheerleading uniform, and so quit complaining.
I like
Rick-
your
I mean,
passion.
it's.
I
it's
kind of
not-
like Speedy's angle
I
of telling
do
the complaining
too. I
parent,
do
if your
too.
daughter wants to wear a shorter skirt, make the cheerleading squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's not like the cheerleader just showed up in a short skirt. She's wearing her uniform.
She'll get to wear it on Fridays during football season.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I like that. That's a good angle. We'll be back.